No, probably will have trouble blinking from Chwan. Ravage on 3, Shackle on 2. Why, a beautiful little Shackle from him, and that sets up a quick double kill. Just the question, Demon starts it off with the Firefly, blinks in, grabs K Phoenix, surprise!
Does get chucked up before he BKBs. FC overextending. Here comes the AoE, but he's already gone down N9 in a...
Will this be enough to bring Long DD down? He's so low. Maybe should have saved the Flame Breath. Don't know if that last auto attack would have hit. And Tiny kills him with the splash on kill.
And we'll get out. They haven't got sentries or dust. The clamp comes in. Maybe an Aegis.
Oh!
Well played.
Oh, this is a beautiful thing to see. It's a base trade, and EG might be caught unawares. It's a time for a TP scroll check, and nobody has a TP on EG.
They haven't done enough damage to backdoor protection. They need
Unbelievable!
more geniuses.
Thousands of years of waiting, and yet no time to waste.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is game number 1, MUFC versus Orange, the all-Malaysian SmackDown, and it is getting underway. How you doing, Gods? I'm LD, of course, and he's Gods, and he's joining me today.
I'm here, yeah. I exist. I'm fantastic. This is probably one of the matches I'm most looking forward to that doesn't actually include a Chinese team. Big Chinese fanboy, but when it's Orange versus MUFC, it's not going to disappoint, that's for sure.
Yeah, for those of us who are just tuning in now, let's quickly look at the playoff brackets just so everyone understands where we are in this tournament. Orange versus MUFC. We're in round of 6 action, which basically means if you win this best out of 3, you go to China. You are guaranteed a significant chunk of prize money. Now, the prize distribution for this $53,000 tournament, did I say $53,000? It's a lot of money. The most money outside of the International 2 for any sort of Dota 2 tournament thus far. In fact, I think for any Dota tournament. It's definitely up there. It's close anyway. But Gods, once you get to China, you get a pretty decent prize, even though the prize distribution is very top-heavy.
Yeah, it's very top-heavy, but even just seeing that 3rd or 4th place still worth the trips there. Walking away with, I think, between like $5,000 to $7,000 for that 4th place isn't shabby. That's the 1st place of a lot of big major tournaments. So a lot at stake here, and we're going to see which of these two teams makes it to that LAN finals. We'll be up against DK in the semi-finals. It's still a manageable match, and all you got to do is get there. Then anything can happen. Let the magic work itself.
Yeah, worry about that once you cross that bridge when you come to it. It's, it's something we see a lot from pro sports is why you can't worry about the next match. You got to be focused on the one right in front of you, and the teams who fail to do that, well, they often suffer. So, Gods, are we ready to talk about this draft, or should I ask you what you ate for breakfast this morning?
I slept till 4 p.m., so breakfast wasn't exactly breakfast, but I had some leftover PT. It was fantastic.
It's actually funny. Your family really gives you a hard time. Like, they won't let you sleep in, even though you're up until 9 a.m. every day.
They started realizing just how late I stay up, and they're kind of like, okay, let's give him his space. He does need his sleep. He's a grown boy. I had errands to do today. I got a driver's license. For some reason, I fooled some silly Aussies into giving me a driver's license. Little do they know how bad of a driver I am.
There's actually been studies which show that if you're sleep deprived sufficiently, it's equivalent to being at least mildly drunk, God. So don't fail to sleep and drive for all the good people.
I'm also drunk a lot of the time, so the two go hand in hand.
There you go, guys.
Maybe they can counter each other out.
The founder of Beyond the Summit is a drunk driver on a regular basis, and that's the kind
I thought it was El Gato. What happened to El Gato?
Oh, she's the owner. She's the owner, but you're the founder. So.
All right, let's talk Dota LD. This is MUFC versus Orange, and Orange, well, they're over on that Radiant side. They had the first pick, right off the bat, Mushi TA being picked up, and MUFC got some sort of signature heroes of their own, or at least heroes they're quite comfortable with in Tide Nature's Prophet, and it's looking interesting so far. Tinker as well, very early pickup from MUFC, and that's something we haven't seen in a long time.
Doesn't this feel like the teams are mixed up? It seems like Orange should have the Prophet, Tinker, Tidehunter, the mid-game timings, the spread the map, farm a little bit more. This Orange lineup is aggressive. Sure, you've got Enigma who wants to be farming, at least for the early stages. You've got Templar Assassin, not the strongest hero as far as securing kills in the first couple of levels. But then you have a Chaos Knight Jakira, and suddenly what could have been a mid-game lineup becomes incredibly aggressive.
Yeah, MUFC's mid to late game stalling potential though is there. They can, as long as they don't get too destroyed by Orange in the early to mid game with the aggression coming from the CK dual lane. The Enigma will be looking to come out once he gets his levels and farm in the jungle. You've got the TA at mid, played by Mushi, I can only imagine, who's going to be looking to roam around once he gets his phase boots up, maybe wait for that blink dagger. Sometimes he farms a lot more than other Templar Assassin players, but MUFC, sure, it looks heavy late game, but they like to play this Nature's Prophet fairly aggressively, so I think it's going to be a sign that they have the potential to take the fight to Orange, especially once they get the tide up to level 6 and they're picking up a solid support hero in Venomancer. So there's still the potential to not have to take it to the late game. If they have the lanes set up so that they can win as many as possible, I think they come out all right here.
You know, I kind of like the way MUFC has gone about attempting to deal with this Templar Assassin. They have March of the Machines and Venomous Gale, Anchor Smash, the Prophet ult, the Treants, just a lot of stuff to fight your way through. It's kind of like trying to wade through a river that's rushing very quickly in the opposite direction. You know, there's a lot of current, a lot of momentum, a lot of flow going against you, and that's what it's going to feel like in some ways for Mushi, especially on that Templar Assassin, when he jumps into the middle of the fight. So, you know, you jump in and then try to chase through all that crap. You're probably going to get sort of battered and knocked down and sent down river, or at least that's what MUFC are hoping.
Yeah, and I mean, it's MUFC though, they're going to be finding themselves not up against the jungle Enigma now. With this Keeper of the Light pick, it's going to be an off-lane Enigma, probably played by iceiceice. So Orange with this strong trial lane could easily go offensive trial and try shut down whichever safe lane farm mode it's going to be. That could well be the Tinker in the safe lane, not at the mid lane with this Chaos Knight, Jakiro, Keeper of the Light. This is about as deadly as it gets. Maybe if you have something like a Sven instead of a Chaos Knight, but even then I think this Chaos Knight is a much stronger option.
Yeah, and this is the kind of lineup that really is weak against... Well, there we go. XSplit not cooperating with me. This is the kind of lineup that isn't really that strong at countering aggression in the very early levels. March is pretty good at punishing it. Gale is pretty good, but they don't have really the dominant heroes to do it. We saw yesterday Prophet +2 in a tri-lane with the Jakiro Ice Path, as well as something else that was big. Oh, it's the Keeper of the Light, I think. That can be very potent as a combo, but it's really just the Venomancer who can blunt aggression in the laning stage, and that's where Orange, like you said, are going to be looking to strike.
Yeah, and Orange are going to be really looking to punish that. I mean, Nake's lifesteal, I should be saying, this isn't Dota 1 anymore, needs a lot of farm and can't really help out too much, and actually we'll need to get some big items to actually deal with the Templar Assassin. I mean, even with raids there to help deal with the tri-lane, maybe once Mushi gets involved, the meld, the minus armor, just the big right-click damage can help deal with a lifestealer who doesn't have the proper shutdown, the proper backup. And MUFC aren't very disable heavy once the Tide Ravage has been popped. They don't have the backup stuns, anything to follow it up with. And that's something which, against Flash, they were really heavy as far as chain stuns go. I mean, that second game, they had Chaos Knight, they had all these chain disables as well as burst damage, and I feel like they're a bit lacking in the disabled department here.
That's the one weakness of their lineup. Now, they do have 3 heroes that can build disables and normally do as their natural item progression, the Lifestealer Basher, and then the Hex or the Scythe Device, or possibly even Yule Scepter on heroes like Tinker and Prophet. Force Staff will be nice against Orange as well. They have some stuns, but still being able to Force Staff away from a hero like Templar Assassin, and to a slightly lesser extent the Chaos Knight, will help you to survive. So MUFC, they're not going to be very defensively powerful outside of Ravage through their items, or through their hero abilities.
Look at this top. What is going on top? MUFC Sharky TP'd straight top to the lane ward, and iceiceice also TP'd right onto him to go ward this jungle. Sharky, that was like some next level strategy. I'm laughing at this as well. iceiceice just wasted a TP. He TP'd top to go block this pull before MUFC could defend it. I'd never seen someone do that. It was really clever. I'm like, wow, what's iceiceice TPing top for? Oh, he wants to block the pull, and Sharky did the same thing. Like, what is going on?
That is some serious shenanigans. You know, it was a little bit of luck for Sharky. He wasn't going to stop that. He was going to place his own ward before Orange would have a chance to get there. But sometimes you're good, and sometimes you're lucky, gods. Oh, there you go. There you go.
iceiceice time. He's going offlane. They're running the tri lane at bottom, so he's going to have a much tougher time at top. Elsewhere for Orange Esports, it is Mushi playing the solo mid Templar Assassin. In the tri lane, you've got xtinct playing the Keeper of the Light, Yamateh on the Chaos Knight, and Ice playing the Jakiro, giving them Ice ×4. Better than Ice ×3, apparently.
I'm a little surprised Orange isn't trying to be aggressive, but as a team, this does suit how they normally play. as far as their general strategy goes. Just with this lineup, you'd expect more aggression with the lanes. Ken on the MUFC side, he's handling the Tidehunter. He's got a smoke picked up already. Lane on the Venomancer, and Net, or 10 as he's calling himself today, on that Lifestealer. Solo mid. This is going to be Ohaiyo on the Tinker up against the Templar Assassin. And look at the cheeky play of Sharky. This is some P-Noise style shenanigans. He's going to be jungling from the enemy hill. Wants to keep that monopool high. Although, has he been... I see some pinks coming out. Was that from the Dire? Or from the raid? I thought it was purple. Huh.
Well, they know he... Yeah, they're pinging it.
Oh, they know.
They know he has teleport level 1. They know he went teleport level 1, so they're like, okay, he can't go bottom without treants if he got teleport. They may look to come punish this. It is going to be Jakiro spotting him from the low ground. Sharky stops attacking.
Cue the Benny Hill music. There's really not much they could do to actually kill him, and Sharky will just TP away. And this forces out a ward. That's a pretty big victory for Sharky.
Yeah, and there's spots you can actually have TP to, I think, in his own jungle. I think the cliff just below the big camp. I'm not sure if you can actually stand there. I know if you're a bat rider, you can kind of just sort of use that loot position to your advantage. So both offlane heroes kind of having an awkward start. Enigma, though, is getting some XP at this top lane. It looks like Ling has been sort of left on his own for the time being. They're looking to use these pools. And another thing of note with this lifesteal, we saw it yesterday with EG, we're going to see some nice little lifestealer bombs with the Tinker TP as well as Nature's Prophet TP.
Yeah, and it's you know, the other beauty of that is generally when you play against a Tinker and a Prophet, you really want to punish them for split pushing. But when you don't know if the lifestealer is lurking inside of them, you know, you get burnt once, maybe you're a little more reluctant to go gank the Prophet and the Tinker, even when lifestealer isn't actually there. It should be interesting to see how this game progresses in that respect. Lots of cool little mechanics like that to talk about. Mid lane, this is a lane that should be interesting. So far, so good. Ohaiyo is 8-1. Mushi only 3-2. Now, Tinker is pretty potent against Templar Assassin because he has laser and she relies entirely on auto attacks to last hit. With this March build as well, which he is appearing to be maxing so far, it's going to be tough for him to stand near the creep wave, and early on, TA is basically a melee hero.
Yeah, I really like where Ohaiyo's. I don't think he even needs to get any more points in laser. Just the 1 point gives him that the miss rate on the Templar Assassin. With that, Mushi has a much tougher time at mid lane. He can then go back into Rocket's March, have maybe Nature's Prophet stack the Ancients. They can look to just stack neutral camps, although Sharky so far just happy to use these pools to get some farm and XP of his own.
Yeah, it looks like the two safe lane heroes are getting free farmed for the moment. Net getting free farmed in that top lane. Chaos Knight in an entirely abandoned lane. He's getting some farm of his own. Already level 4. Like you said, lots of pulling for both teams. And this was actually... looks like it was a triple pull from Ice. And he's already level 2. Getting close to level 3. And they're also pulling mid, so just being very efficient with the pulls in general. Whereas if you look at iceiceice, he is having a hell of a time top. That early ward... apparently was dewarded by iceiceice, and then the D-ward was dewarded by MUFC. But iceiceice is playing in the dark, and he's not getting much out of this lane.
Yeah, he's got absolutely nothing on him as well. And that's probably the real hard thing, is as an offlane hero, you can't get the soaring, you can't buy a bottle, you can't keep spamming conversions. He's out of clarities as well. Maybe he ships some out, but it's not very cost effective. So really, at this point, he's very limited in what he can do.
Oh, this could be our first blood. In comes the Prophet. There's the TP. Iceiceice, no tangos. They knew he didn't have them. Easy first blood. Claimed by MUFC. Gods, we talked about the aggression of this team when they beat Orange, and it always begins early in the landing stage. And 4 heroes top, really not a fair fight for that Enigma.
Very, very one-sided affair at the top lane, and I feel Orange, they should be maybe looking to punish or gank this Tinker at the mid lane. The problem is they've got 2 supports who aren't all that useful as roaming heroes. Keeper of the Light stacking maybe some neutrals, trying to get some levels and farm. Ice is doing the same thing with Jakiro. This is really the beauty of this Tinker pick, is that Orange, they can't roam, they can't punish it, whereas with MUFC, Tide and Venomancer, great level 1 roamers. They've got level 2 now. They're going to smoke up, they're going to look for the kill on this mid lane.
Yeah, Mushi is taking a lot of damage. He's actually going to be driven back, so the March possibly working against him. The smoke parade heads towards the bottom lane, and Ice is just going to pick up the rune. In comes Prophet. This could be another kill. He only has level 1 rocket and level 1 laser, but that should be enough. Sprouted in, trapped, dual breath on everyone, taking a lot of damage just from that lonely Jakiro. In comes Mushi. Can he really bring these heroes down? Sentry Ward is placed. Do they have the damage? Ling's dropping low. The splash hit him once. Mushi goes for another splash hit. Not going to connect. Meanwhile, on the back line of play, it's the Tidehunter who dies. So 1 for 1 there. 8, was that 8 heroes? I want to say 8 heroes converging at that bottom lane. A lot of aggression early on.
Yeah, I think MUFC chased a bit. I think MUFC, the support should have just been a bit more patient and gone for the kill on Mushi at mid lane. Once just kept the lane passive, because the support Jakiro was always getting that rune. But 1-for-1 trade, MUFC still in a decent position here with the lifestealer free farming. They did force yamateh to come and help out, but he's still got more or less free farm at bottom lane, already up to 30 creep kills.
Yeah, no, you know, one thing that's worth talking about in this match, we've seen yamateh play Chaos Knight before, and he's had a lot of games where he farms well in the laning stage, but then if the fights don't go his way, he just doesn't, he falls behind. It's sort of the weakness of the hero, and, you know, also just Orange tend not to, they tend to be a little more aggressive when they pick a hero like Chaos Knight in the mid game. That's sort of what you expect. Should we be worried about yamateh if he can't find kills, that he's not going to keep his farm up? Like, yeah, now he's farming great, but later on in the game, when Prophet and Tink are just split pushing everywhere, Lifestealer not going for an early Midas, so I guess that's a good sign for him.
Yeah, Chaos Knight doesn't match up well against the Tinker, the Tinker, the Nature's Prophet pick. Great heroes just to avoid and push out lanes. I think what Orange can do though here is maybe play Mushi as more as a roamer. Often Orange will play their solo mid Mushi, whether it's TA, Queen of Pain, as their main carry. Yamateh's more the tanky frontliner. Maybe this game they try get him some bigger, more late game oriented items. Just have him continue to farm, have Mushi be the one leading those ganks from mid lane with the TA.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be efficient with this time. That's always a concern. Chaos Knight, not the best sort of comeback hero. Not that he needs to come back now, but in the mid-game, it definitely happens. The nice thing about that gank mid was that iceiceice got a little bit of time to get some levels. He's up to level 3. Still desperately poor, though. What is on the courier? It's only the Sobi mask. GoDz, I gotta wonder, should they just be sending him into the jungle? Enigma in the jungle, sure, there's already 2 heroes there, but I still think he'd be higher level than this. Probably would have that Soul Ring by now as well.
Yeah, he absolutely would. I think they did. Look at Keeper of the Light, massively stacking up this big camp here, though. And that's something
cheesy.
we're going to see Orange looking to get. Yeah, this is the keep. This will get him his level 5 or something. And this is kind of what we saw coming from, I believe it was the LGD vs DK series, where Keeper of the Light would just look to get up the fast mech, would just be spending a lot of time in the newts, getting items, getting farms with the supports. It's something that the Chinese teams value, and Orange here are doing with their supports as well.
Look as they kill it off. Just watch that experience in Goldcraft just completely switch around. Now it's a massive lead for the Radiant. Wow, this is really clever. So even though the Enigma is being shut down, I don't think we've seen this level of dedication to farming the big camp as we have this game. And it won't work every game. Sometimes if you do stuff like this, the enemy team's just going to be ganky your other lanes, really punish you. But they saw MUFC's lineup. They saw a lineup that, sure, Venomancer's a decent ganker, Tidehunter's a decent ganker. They're not built around ganks. They don't have heroes like Shadow Demon and Leshrac who are just trying to roam and constantly get kills. They know MUFC wants to sit back and farm, so they say, okay, we might have a lineup that on paper doesn't look like it's the best farming lineup, but we're going to use it in a way where it becomes one.
Yeah, it seems to be what they may be trying to do here. And I think the important thing for MUFC now is that they don't let their supports get too far behind. That's really where the XP difference is. Tide level 4, Veno level 3, whereas the Radiant supports, Jakiro as well as Keeper Light, both hitting level 5. Jakiro getting close to that level 6 as well. And if they can get up a fast mech, that's when Orange can say, well, sure, we've got sort of a more ganking lineup with the Templar Assassin and Chaos Knight, but they can just look to push with it. If they've got the mech up, the Keeper of the Light Blast, the Jakiro with the Ice Path, that's a strong pushing lineup as well.
Oh god, Mushi's got a haste and a DD. This generally ends poorly for the enemy team, but fortunately, it was spotted by a ward. And so Mushi's time here should be a bit wasted. You can already see Ken retreating, hoofing it to that tower. I don't think Big Fish really hoof it, but you know, waddles his way over.
And Sharky at bottom lane, he's only just started stacking these Ancients by the looks of things. Ohaiyo, he's going to try start dealing with that with the marching machines, but it's not as stacked as MUFC would like it to be. They're actually going to go in on Sharky at bottom lane, and 4-second stun. Well, I think he's a bit going to be going down. He does, and yamateh easily walks away from that one. A nice little 4-second stunner, always getting those kills.
Yeah, even 3 seconds might have been enough, not necessarily to kill yamateh, but maybe just to force him into a bad position. The Ice Path came in just in the nick of time. Might not have been in range to cast it. Who knows? The fight could have gone differently, but you play Chaos Knight, you roll with the dice, and you roll with the random and the RNG, and it works out beautifully from there. This does buy a little bit of time as well for Mushi to pressure that middle lane because they're farming Ancients. I really don't. I like the idea of Tinker farming the Ancients to give the team some golden experience, but I don't think you want to leave Mushi alone like this.
Ooh, and one of the flaws with MUFC's lineup just really shown. They tried to they 4 heroes go top to try gank Enigma. He just TP'd out right in front of them. They have no disables from these 4 heroes until Tide gets his Ravage. Even then, they're not going to be using that to kill a solo Enigma. So Orange, that's something they realize that they can just do to really annoy MUFC.
And they almost gave up a mid tower for this. Mushi did about 800, 900 points of damage to it. And now Orange can defend incredibly well with this Keeper of the Light. The push is over. MUFC are not going to get the towers this easily. They really have to find a kill or two. I think if at least catch the Keeper of the Light with the Jakiro without a TP scroll or out of position. But when you have Jakiro, or when you have Keeper of the Light, you have recall. So it's really hard to catch heroes out of position. Mushi now another haste double damage combination moment for him. And it's still all spotted by an observer ward, but my god, does he want to find some kills. You can't count on getting this luckiest TA all the time.
Yeah, it's it's not always going to be happening, but he still hasn't been able to find any kills yet. 0-0-0 is Mushi, even with haste runes, DD runes, and that comes down to MUFC being very proactive with their warding. They've got great map control. Ohaiyo, he's got his boots to travel up, and he's going to be looking probably to keep on farming for a bit. He wants maybe to max out the heat-seeking missiles, and he also wants to get up that soaring as well, so he can really try spam Orange down, and that's... Orange can't really push into this Tinker, so Orange are going to be forced to play a farming-oriented game here.
Oh, while it was happening, bottom tower went down, but it's top lane where iceiceice is low and dead. Had the black hole, didn't have the black hole because he's a little bit under-leveled, forced back to base quite a few times. Yes, he TP'd out. Whoa, Yamateh. Whoa, buddy. He really wanted to go for that kill. Looks like Mushi's going to get a tier 1 mid. They're not prepared for this right now. And the tower, there's a double damage run up. This is 2 tier 1s. Orange haven't lost the tower yet. They're up against the Tinker and a Prophet. Mushi cleans up the tower. Mushi has this Blink Dagger now. And Orange are showing that you can outpush a Prophet and a Tinker if you have these really strong anti-push supports.
Yeah, it's making it really hard for MUFC to turn these kills into anything. They can't get a single tower on the map with the Jakiro Keeper of the Light picks. Something that Tongfu lacked yesterday when they went up against EG. EG had this pushing lineup, and the supports for Tongfu were like, well, we can't really do anything. So once EG got ahead, they just walked away with the game. Here we can see that even MUFC getting some kills, finding some momentum for themselves, it's not really turning into anything, and it's going to be kills going the way of Orange. It's a trap, it's a trap. Ohaiyo goes down, and Orange, Yamateh's still diving. He wants Ken.
And there's
Ken's
no
gonna turn
Ravage.
back around. I think MUFC may be able to turn this around with the Venomancer and Lifestealer showing up. It looks like they can take out Yamateh here on the high ground.
No
Actually, another TP. Oh, no disables is just the bane of MUFC's game so far.
Oh god, so we talked about extra cheese yesterday. We're seeing some serious TP cheese, and this is probably going to happen. You know, you talked about the pregame. We could see this happening for the next 10 minutes until they get a Hex or a Basher. They might even just have to rush something cheap like a Yule Scepter that cancels TPs. Otherwise, you're relying entirely 100% on either Burst or Ravage, and they don't have much Burst because Tinker hasn't gone for Lasers Rockets, and Lifesteal doesn't have the items to provide Burst damage yet. And they don't have any lockdowns, so their options are very limited right now.
Yeah, Lifesteal's going to have that armlet up soon, then maybe they can just kill heroes before the TP actually gets off. I imagine right after this armlet, we're going to be seeing a Basher on this Lifestealer. They have to get something to deal with TPs more reliably. Tide Ravage isn't something you can count on to cancel TPs.
Oh, look at this. This is so cute by Orange, except they don't go... Oh, maybe they didn't quite have vision.
I don't think the trap was slightly off. They give the tiniest bit of vision. I think it had to be directly on top of him.
It was like probably 5 units too far to the left there. That was real close. And MUFC just taking a lot of damage on these towers to Mushi's. Mushi's doing a great job just using Refraction, the extra bonus damage, just to chip away at the towers. And for the moment, MUFC just in a very defensive posture, which is kind of the opposite. Oh, here comes the Lifestealer bomb. This might be the burst they need. Immediately the TP out. Rockets, laser. Guys, they had to use everything, but they do find the kill.
Close. That was so close to getting a TP out, I feel. I'm like, okay, it's TP.
Bottom lane.
How's this TP not gone yet?
Oh, and Tidehunter cannot waste that Ravage. Would have died anyway. The trap's very low cooldown.
Yeah.
But you not being able to use the Ravage to get away, they can't afford to. They need it for these team fights. The question is, can they get the tower mid? It looks like they should be able to. Even when they're finding kills, it still feels like this is Orange just kind of abusing just a really significant weakness in MUFC's lineup.
Yeah, and a couple with not just the TPs, but also the ability for Orange to take down towers so easily. They took down mid, down bottom. They've defended their towers for so long, even with MUFC getting these kills around the map. MUFC need to make more happen, and it's going to come from this Lifestealer with the Nature's Prophet. These Nake's bombs are just going to be the go-to move, I think, for MUFC to try to pick off heroes who are farming alone. Oh no, and this is a hero that doesn't lack for burst damage. Ohaiyo's going to drop real quickly, needs to laser, needs to TP out. Can he get away? No, the neutrals! Oh, he dies to the neutrals, but at least he doesn't die to Mushi. That was just cruel. That was just cruel. The March baiting the neutrals over when he otherwise would have gotten away with that laser trick, but poor Ohaiyo.
It was a very calm reaction from ohaiyo. A lot of players would have freaked out and tried to run, but he just turns around, drops the laser. Unfortunately, the Dragons are on a bit of a rampage today, not cooperating with him. Well, gods, it's a big lead for Orange. It wasn't just the neutrals, they're also up in towers. They've claimed 2 to the 1 at the moment of MUFC. MUFC is looking to change that. You gotta wonder, where's the big item progression gonna come from? Lifestealer didn't rush a Midas, he has an armlet now, but again, not a great flash farmer like the Chaos Knight. 2-second stun, in comes Yamateh, he's got a Vanguard and an Ogre Club. Look at the Illuminate damage, insane burst. Defensive Ravage just to run away. This is not how our MUFC want to be using it. In comes Mushi. He's got the blink. It's on cooldown. No, he jumps in now. Going on to Ken. Ken pulled back in. Ken to die. And now 10 ohaiyo and Lane a bit on the back foot. Forced back to the tower. And I don't know. They do have this march to try and stall a push, but they can't really fight.
Yeah, you're absolutely... Without Ravage now used defensively, that's really a bad sign for MUFC. The one thing they've got going for them at this point is maybe a stronger team fight with the Tide Ravage, Tinker March. You've got a lifesteal with an armlet up, but without getting a nice team fight there with that Ravage, Orange suddenly buy themselves more space to farm. You've got Mushi, who's already about to hit 100 creep kills. Same for the Chaos Knight. Orange just with a big lead in terms of item progression, general farm, and levels, and this is going to be really hard for MUFC to catch up with their heroes. Nature's Prophet not playing a greedy type of Prophet. He's going for the mech. He's been playing more or less as a support here for his team, and that's something which MUFC just can't afford right now.
You know, it doesn't really seem to fit the lineup. We talked about it, not a great clashing head-on kind of team fight lineup, especially with Ravage on cooldown, which it's never going to be up for every fight. Maybe they should have gone for the greedier builds, and, you know, you've got Tinker, you've got Prophet, heroes that are built to stall the game. Was this the right way to build their heroes? The itemization perhaps not the best. Iceiceice does get caught. This could be a nice pickoff. He doesn't have a TP. No cheese for you, Mr. Ice, they say. And they will bring him down.
Yeah, they need to just keep getting whatever kills they can around the map and avoid these little pickoffs. Like, Tinker needs to be off farm and getting his next big items up, but it's just so dangerous, so deadly for wherever he goes. If he gets found by a hero like Templar Assassin and with one other hero with a disable or some kind of backup, Tinker can go down, and Templar Assassin is going to have, imagine, probably a Desolator very soon.
Yeah, already 3,700 gold for Mushi. He is leading this game in net worth, and he's out farming heroes like Prophet and Tinker, who generally should be at least on par with him. So far, so good for Orange. Controlling the game, playing how they like to play as well, which is, you know, not just killing all the time, but also getting items up. Yamateh is getting absolutely massive. He's going to have a BKB by that 20-minute mark, if not sooner. And once he has a BKB, what can MUFC do to deal with him? They just have the Lifestealer, but unless Lifestealer has Rage, he'll be stunned by the Jakiro, he'll be Black Hold even if he's raging. The ability, of course, not the in-game, real-life kind of rage. Or if Chaos Knight stuns him. I don't know if they can deal with a BKB Chaos Knight. I don't think they're equipped to do it.
Yeah, they really aren't, and I mean, a lot of their ability to deal with Chaos Knight is coming from these slows, the Gush, the Venomous Gale. They've got the Tide Ravage, but that's just a one-time thing. But BKB is going to prevent that as well. So Chaos Knight's going to get very beefy, and even on top of the BKB, he's going to get his next big item up very fast. We're just 18 minutes in. Orange looking for some more kills here, looking to extend this lead. It looks like MUFC managing to pretty much avoid them for the time being, though.
You know, oftentimes Midas is a bit of a trap, but imagine if the Lifesteal and the Prophet had rushed one. Net had free farm, he would have had it quickly. Prophet was doing a lot of pulling, should have had it by the 10-minute mark at the latest. By this point, they wouldn't quite be caught up, but they wouldn't be far behind. Instead, we're in a position where they have a Lifestealer who doesn't farm that well as a hero, who got a quick armlet, but isn't really turning it into aggression, isn't using it to get kills. It's a bit wasted on him right now. In comes Sharky, though, with the dust. Want to go on Mushi. Blind, trying to slow down this aggression. Finally, Mushi dropping low. Another dust used. Black Hole catches nothing. Ice completely airballs it. Doesn't matter. Mushi will drop. Mushi buys back. In comes Ken. Has the Ravage. Ice Path the Fly. Catches two, but not the Tide. Ravage on both. Net still diving. Mushi is here. Mushi is strong. And that is one very dead Lifestealer. Where's the follow-up? Who else can fight against this TA? On the back lines of play, it's the Venomancer dropping. Two heroes now dropping for MUFC. Barely surviving is the Jakiro. Now the lone man trying to get the hell out of here is ohaiyo, and no siree. The Illuminate to bring him down, and xtinct barely lives. Oh, a huge, aggressive extension from MUFC, but the buyback from Mushi completely turns it around and saves the day after that whiffed black hole.
Yeah, that was all Templar Assassin that fight, just cleaning up left, right, and center. All he needed was a disable hero there from the Jakiro Ice Path, the Chaos Knight Stun, and he'd make sure he secured those kills. This Yasha pickup, very early on, giving him additional mobility, faster attack speed, and really paying for itself. Even with the blow and black hole, we mentioned in the early game, maybe iceiceice playing a bit too much Heroes of Nuith as of late, because that wasn't... I mean, I saw what he was trying to do, reaching the Lifestealer from the other side, but it wasn't really even close, but... apart from that, he's been playing pretty well so far this game.
I don't know if that's Heroes of Nuith. It's also not a hero we see him play a whole lot of, to be fair. Enigma is not a signature hero by any means of iceiceice. If anything, it's Net, or excuse me, it's Ling on MUFC, who's the player in this game that actually plays Enigma on a regular basis. Mushi groups up towards that top lane, has 1,200 gold, anything on the courier for him? No, not yet, so a bit away from Manta Style, but that's going to be a nice item as well. I believe it does remove blind, it removes open wounds. And can be used to dodge things like Venomous Gale, which in this game is pretty big.
Yeah, it's going to really help out his team, and I feel that for...
Yamateh has the BKB!
But I don't know if that's going to help him out here. The physical damage is not going to be enough. He does manage to TP out, and he leaves xtinct to maybe hang and dry. Actually, they can't keep up with him, and TP's coming in now from Jakiro, so it looks like danger crisis avoided for Orange Esports for the time being.
Guys, I think we're gonna have to change our key points for next game. It's gotta be, it's all about the stuns, stupid, instead of it's all about the lane, stupid. Yeah. Because, man, how, like, even chasing there, imagine if MUFC at the Chaos Knight had a Sven, had anyone with a stun and some good chasing potential. Venomancer's okay, I suppose, but what does it really do against this BKB? Something like a Beastmaster would be great, but they don't have it. TPN, it's the Nake's Bomb. iceiceice getting picked on all day, and he will drop. That's the one hero they have been continuing to shut down, and what, I guess he's still trying to rush a Blink Dagger. It seems like that's what he wants to go for. Otherwise, could have some tank items. He'd still be dying now, but I just worry in the mid game if he's going to be able to find a black hole. He's so squishy at this point, and MUFC have shown they can kill him off pretty easily.
Yeah, he's trying to... I'm surprised that he's rushing this Blink Dagger, not going for maybe a more tanky survivable item, but I guess with his Keeper Light already having the mech up, Enigma's just going to be looking for that really late black hole, because I don't think he needs to be going in first. They've got so much farm on Chaos Knight, Templar Assassin, that those two heroes can go in the front lines. They've got so much setup coming from Jakiro that the black hole, the Enigma position, can just be very defensive, very passive. Even if he doesn't hit a black hole, even if he's just sitting at the back stunning when possible, he can still have a decent impact on this fight. And the Blink Dagger will give him some ability to get those black holes off, especially with the lack of disable on this MUFC side. So he just has to wait for Ravage to be used, and he's a guaranteed black hole.
That's true, unless he gets burst down. That's the only way he could die. But like you said, they don't. Yeah. Where's the Hex going to come from? Boy, this is very rare to see a Prophet and a Tinker, especially in Southeast Asia, where generally teams are more focused on getting their solo heroes and their sort of their mid-game carries quite farmed. They do have one disable now. It's the Basher on net. Not a reliable way to stop black hole, but could be helpful for general lockdown and team fights. But it's gonna be at least another 5, 6, 7 minutes before we can even think about a Hex on a Prophet on a Tinker, assuming that Orange just don't start getting picked off all over the place. And by that point, he's not only gonna have the Manta Style, which I think is probably coming momentarily. Yep, about to complete that. We're probably gonna be looking at Yamateh with a Heart or getting close to one, an Armlet, and even with those hexes, I don't know if they'll have enough sustainable burst to bring him down, even if they are hexing him during the fight.
Yeah, even with the hexes, it's just going to get harder and harder as Yamateh gets tankier and tankier, and I imagine it will be harder to harass. Maybe a Manta Style coming up next on him. And Orange, they're not done being aggressive looking for these kills. They're going to try to find Net at this top lane with a smoke gang. It looks like Net's backed off. Maybe they look for the next target, and it could be Ken here. Farming away in these neutrals.
Oh, Ken's in a bit of trouble. Remember, there's a BKB. Just needs to pop it. Where's that Phantasm? Doesn't have mana for it. Will use the BKB. Now Ken to drop. In comes Ohaiyo, blinking forward. Macro Pyre was used for this as well. Yamateh, you cheeky little bugger. BKBs, finds the kill. TP's out. It is a fairly expensive kill in that sense, because he is using a BKB charge. But hey, get the kill and walk away safely.
Yeah, Net actually a bit reluctant to attack him when he was TPing. I think he forgot that he had that Basher. He could have got a couple, at least one, maybe a second hit off while he was TPing. Tried to get that Basher, which just does go through BKB. Net's farmed really well. I mean, he's up to 130 creep kills. He's 2, 1, and 3. He's really been the one sort of glimmer of hope at least as of late for MUFC. They've also got the Tinker who can make it go ultra late game, and Sheep6 is going to be crucial for MUFC on both Nature's Prophet as well as ohaiyo.
Here comes Mushi. Speaking of heroes who can't stop TPs, he can't either. Iceiceice just a second late. Nice job, MUFC. This is obviously how they want to play the game now. Stall the game, push the lanes, don't go for big team fights, don't get caught in a black hole and an ice path. Get your items up, your Sights of Vice, maybe your Abyssal Blade on your Lifestealer, or go back for some more damage, something. I think completing it would be great for the reliable disable, but we'll see how he wants to go. MUFC, they do have a good turtling lineup. Prophet, Tinker, pretty, even Venomancer is fantastic at it. And it's going to be sort of up to Orange if they can crack through the shell of MUFC. So far, they haven't quite been able to.
Yeah, MUFC don't have the strongest defending lineup outside of the Tinker, but it's showing that Tinker on his own can just defend so well, and Orange haven't really been looking to go for those group up and pushes. I think they feel pretty confident in the ability to have a late game Templar Assassin. They've got the late game Chaos Knight getting really farmed and tanky yamateh. This is completely different Chaos Knight to what we saw against IG. Against IG, he really got shut down. I think it was 0-3 in the first sort of 10 or so minutes and never got any items up. This is a complete different story here. Enigma late game can be fantastic as well. So I think Orange are happy not to rush things, but it's giving time for MUFC to get those items up, to get those Sheep6, which are going to be crucial if they want to win this game.
Well, MUFC definitely can't win now, so that leaves them with one option, which is play to win later on, and it makes sense. It's the right way to play. It's still not a guarantee they'll be able to. It's going to be very tough to do so, but hey, they have a better shot. And ohaiyo has the ultimate orb up. We are looking at probably around that 30-minute mark, where if he doesn't die, he'll have a Scythe of Vice. Does Prophet have anything on the courier? No, he's still desperately poor. This is really a very slow start for this Prophet, and Sharky just not. We've seen him the last few times he's played Prophet, he's gone for more farm. This game, they needed someone to build the mech, and because they had two laning supports, they didn't have a Chen, it sort of fell to Sharky to do it. Now they even try to sneak a Roshan. I don't know if they can actually pull this off. They do have Ravage, they have March, which can be very helpful near the pit, and the Plague Lords, but they don't really have the burst damage to bring them down quickly.
Yeah, with Keeper of the Light, with such a long-range AoE nuke as well, they've got the trap in there to scout things out. They can use the Keeper of the Light blast to scout as well as do damage. So MUFC forces back off, and they've done something clever here. They've smoked around. They're looking for kills. Enigma iceiceice. He's got this blink dagger. They need to get a stun off before he blinks, and it's going to be hard. Nope, instant blink coming from iceiceice. Great reaction time. Even Sharky trying to TP in there, and it just goes to show MUFC just lacking in terms of serious engagement to deal with that.
How long have we seen yamateh just whack away at creeps? This is such a departure from the series against IG, where he kept on trying to go for kills, he kept on trying to play aggressively in the Chaos Knight game. And by this point in the game, I think he just had a Vanguard and Treads, but he's got a BKB, he's got 3,000 gold up. Or maybe the components of a BKB, but not the recipe in the IG game. He's just so much more farm. Chaos Knight can farm well if he just, like any hero, if he just sits in lane and whacks creeps, and so far that's when yamateh. Oh, nice little Prophet body block by Sharky to help himself escape. yamateh lets out his frustration on these treads, but he is farming well. He continues to get the items up, and I think this is how Orange, and even when he's gone for ganks, he's found kills for the most part, so he's been very efficient, which is a big departure from that series.
Yeah, he's been involved. He's been a key hero, and no one on Orange has really has been left out. I think Enigma the closest to having a little to no impact on this game so far, but he was in that suicide lane. He managed to just get some farm, some XP, catch up. He's already over 100 creep kills here, so iceiceice easily in position to take this to late game and have a nice impact in some big team fights here. It's just a matter of time before. Well, not really a matter of time. It is going to take a while before MUFC are ready to take those fights, which is also preventing iceiceice from getting involved in kills because there's no team fights. MUFC cannot win a team fight. So Enigma right now, he's just off farming, which is perfectly fine, perfectly reasonable if he can farm up something like a BKB of his own.
I gotta point out, you talked about this much earlier, is getting the quick mech on xtinct. I don't know if we've even seen it used more than a handful of times, but he's also got a Force Staff as well, which against MUFC they lack for lockdown, and Lifestealer really suffers against not only Force Staff, but Ghost Scepter. This Keeper of the Light could be an absolute pain in the rear. Once he gets that Ghost Scepter up, you can't kill him easily, you can't kill his teammates easily, and he's getting pretty close to it. I think we're going to see that next, maybe even something like a pipe, but these supports for Orange are getting a lot of items, and look at this, Jakiro going for an Ogre Club. Possibly an Aghanim Scepter, I assume a BKB, but just getting some HP now.
Yeah. Not what I would expect. I'm surprised BKB against this dire lineup. I mean, the only real hero you want the BKB against is the Tide Ravage, and Jakiro is a hero who's often on the back of the team fight. He's not going to be near the front line, so part of me is thinking maybe Aghanim Scepter. I don't know.
You know, maybe even a Heaven's Halberd, just for not for the evasion, but for the disarm. That could be it as well.
Yeah.
But this is a little bit odd.
Definitely possible here, but Orange, they're looking to just keep on applying as much pressure as possible. Firstly, a couple minutes ago, they pushed Tinker away from this tier 2 tower. Now they're going to look to try to do something similar at the bottom lane, maybe. Orange is going tower by tower, whilst MUFC, they've struggled even to take down tier 1 towers.
Ohaiyo getting close to that site device, has the ultimate aura up, double damage rune, bottled up by Mushi, is going to spot out Ken, I believe. Maybe just missed seeing him there as he came down the hill. Instead, going to push mid. Roshan, they were working on it, but again, lack of physical damage. If this was Orange in the pit, it's dead by now, with Mushi having a lot of physical DPS, same for Chaos Knight. But MUFC a bit lacking, and they got to be real careful about bringing Roshan low. If they don't kill him, if they bring him low and then decide to back off, Orange might be the ones who actually sneak it.
Yeah, I feel Orange, they're just happy with the way this game's going. They know they're not getting too many kills, they're not getting an overwhelming amount of constant pressure and towers going their way, but it's more the farm. You've got Yamateh who's almost finished off his heart. He's actually taking a bunch of damage from this lifesteal. Lifesteal a great way of tearing through that heart HP.
Oh,
Top
Mushi.
lane though. What happened there, LD?
Mushi jumps in and just bursts the profit from full to nothing with a double damage rune wearing off. And now he's up to 4,600 gold. We're going to be seeing that data list, and it is coming soon.
Yeah, Mushi with a ton of farm. Chaos Knight with a ton of farm. Chaos Knight's just 700 gold away from his Heart of Tarask. And I think with that, Orange say, okay, we're ready to just go 5 mid because we've got such a massive item advantage. Even with the March of the Machines defense, even with the Tide Ravager, there's still nothing MUFC can do to win that fight when there's just that much farm on Orange Esports heroes with their carries just getting ridiculously big.
When Chaos Knight gets this big, if you stun a Tide Hunter when your Phantasm is activated and pull him in, your illusions will kill him before. It doesn't even matter that he has Kraken Shell. That's how quickly he dies, especially if you get any critical strikes. Blinking Black Hole just on Net. Oh, they really want this kill. Phantasm used as well. Net still surviving, and the BKB now at best inside a creep. Tiki will be forced out by that Illuminate. Sharky dropping low. In comes Mushi. 1 kill, 2 kills in a matter of seconds. Dodges the Ravage back onto Ken. Mushi going for the triple. He wants it. Yamateh will die. Net bought back, trying to find something on iceiceice. Can he get a bash? Can he get a bash? He does get a bash. 2 for 2. The buyback forced out. Now the retreat away. Not an awful fight for MUFC, considering how it started, which looked like just the lifestealer dying instantly. Even in death, he made a pretty big impact with that infest, wasting a lot of Orange's time.
And MUFC are going to try to secure themselves a Roshan with this as well. Chaos Knight being down, I think just Mushi alone isn't enough to contest this Roshan, especially Mushi with only his man cell. If he had bought his Daedalus, I think he's got almost enough gold for it, then maybe it's a different story, but it does look like MUFC. MUFC, they back off. They do not have the damage or something. They're afraid of Mushi as well, even without having any items up at this point.
I don't think they could deal with Mushi, to be honest. If he jumps in, if he gets bashed, they have a chance. Otherwise, I just see him killing them all, without the Daedalus, let alone with it.
Mushi needs to spend his gold. He's got full Daedalus if he wants to. He's got a full BKB. He's got a Desolate, whatever he wants. Maybe he's thinking Aegis plus Divine Rapier. That's going to be the way he plays this. Orange Esports may be waiting for the Aegis himself, and if they can get that, Mushi says, sweet, I'll buy a Divine Rapier now.
They're going to initiate on ice. Remember, there's a 4-staff up on this... Oh, no, not using it yet. Where's the 4-staff? It was a bait. It was a trap. BKB from Yamateh. 1 to drop so far. Net next in line. Man mode. The lifestealer getting a lot of bashes. The Rockets come in. Come on, Net. You could do it. You could do it. And he will get the kill, but at the cost of his own life as well as the profit. Orange now, and it looks like they have the position at this point to try and take Roshan. There is no Ravage for 40 seconds, and with both teams having their big AoE team fight ultimates down, that's going to favor the team that has the Jakiro, who, by the way, lived through that fight. That was a really intelligent play from Xtinct. He didn't force staff the Jakiro right away, waited until he got low, and then forced him back. So MUFC wasted tons of time, tried to focus him down.
Yeah, Orange, they're still not ready to go roast, they're still not ready to go push, even with a 1 fight.
And in comes Ohaiyo, has that sight device up. iceiceice taking some big damage. Sprout onto him. Sight device could be used again. iceiceice will drop to this ice as well in the middle of the fray. Are we going to see Ohaiyo go for more kills? No, Mushi is here. Mushi is incredibly fat. Mushi up to close to 8k gold. 7.4k right now. Forget.
Is Mushi trolling or what? Like, this is just insane how much he's farmed up and what he could actually be buying at this point. The courier just sitting at the fountain, could be going to the secret shop, could be doing a number of things. It's actually going to go get Chaos Knight's Heart of Tarrasque by the looks of things. No, it's actually heading there for Mushi, I want to say. So, I imagine Daedalus is going to be his item of choice here. Maybe Daedalus as well as the BKB. Just he's got the gold almost for both.
That's what I call an ultra luxury lifestyle for Mushi. When you just buy 2 massive items like that off the bat, complete a BKB, we're probably going to see at least a component of that Daedalus now. Hasn't bought anything just yet. Maybe even an Eagle Song for some evasion. Although up against this many Slice of Ice, it's not guaranteed to be that helpful. With the attack speed, the damage from Butterfly, it's not bad either. For the moment, he buys the full BKB and then still has 4.4k gold. Mushi is balling out of control this game.
Yeah, he's playing fantastic. I'm just amazed by how sort of economic he is being. He's not getting interest on. He's not getting interest on it. So just spend your gold. I mean,
you know, it's funny.
I feel having a big item is more important than having buyback at this point. It's not like he's in a scenario where buyback is crucial for his team.
It's still fairly early, although it's 36 minutes in the sense that the tier 2s are up for both teams in the big lanes on the Roshan side of the map, mid and bottom. So if you lose a fight, you're probably not losing racks. You know, you're losing some map control, sure. You're losing potentially a significant amount of territory, but not racks. Mushi jumps in, wants to go on Ken. Ken's dropping low. Now he's going to run out of mana. No Ravage for you, and he will die. Mushi on a monster kill, although, boy, it feels like more. The kills aren't that, the kill count isn't that high, but he's just doing a great job controlling the map and pressuring everyone back, and everybody's terrified of this hero. You know, gods, this is even more economical. It's funny, the Chinese players are the ones who've been spending their gold, not saving for buyback. We saw that out of Super in that epic DK versus LGD series. Mushi's, it's like the tables have turned. Now he's the one who's going to play it ultra safe.
Even 60, 70 minutes in, the Chinese players for DK were just like, nah, don't need buyback, let's get these big items. IG against Orange did a similar thing. They were just saying, no, we got to get these next level of items up, even if we maybe don't have our BKBs, or sorry, not have BKB, buybacks, whatever it is to stay alive, stay in the game. They say, nope, this is a necessary risk. So,
you know,
Mushi playing ultra conservative.
You know, it brings to mind that moment where I think it was Mushi who bought a salve at Fountain and was 100 gold short of buyback. Maybe that's still haunting him. Maybe that's why we're seeing Mushi play this economical, this safe, this defensive.
There's his Daedalus.
That's gotta be it.
He's got his full Daedalus BKB.
Never mind. So he is gonna spend all his gold, but only when he damn well feels like it. There you go.
He could have bought the BKB a good 5 minutes earlier. He could have bought the Daedalus instead of the BKB first. He hasn't been in positions where he's in too much danger, but now he's just completely ridiculously farmed. Same applies for Yamateh, who has finished his heart. He hasn't got much gold on top of that, but he's probably just going to be looking for a Manta style, his next big item up. He's a hero who doesn't really need a save for buyback, just being a Chaos Knight, being that frontline tank. If they're going to commit 5 heroes to killing him, then Orange should win the fight hands down, regardless of him dying.
MUFC are still getting some items up. It's not on the luxury level of what we've seen from Mushi, but they have an Abyssal Blade on the Lifestealer, and a timely bash or usage of that active ability could turn the fight. Could allow them to burst down here like Chaos Knight before he gets off Phantasm, or maybe Mushi if his refraction charges are on cooldown. Aside from that, Tinker's picked up a Ghost Scepter. I don't think we'll see an Ethereal Blade, but just Ghost Scepter by itself, great against Chaos Knight. And look at Ohaiyo trolling from the high ground. This reminds me of Team Fortress 2, and now Roshan wants a piece of the pie. He wants to shut down that pesky Tinker, but not able to hit him onto the high ground.
Yeah, it's a scenario right now where MUFC, well, they can still stay in this game. Largely because the Tinker also takes his Prophet, who's got so much counter push happening that Orange, regardless of this big lead they've accrued, they're up by about 12k gold. The XP is even bigger because of how many fights they're winning and how many kills they've been getting more than MUFC. But MUFC they're resilient. They've still got Tinker farming. They've got Nature's Prophet trying to get Sheepsticker. They've got Lifestealer with an Abyssal Blade now. They've got some items. They've got some late game potential of their own. They're going to try contest this.
This is going to be tough. It's, you know, we've talked a lot about Mushi's farm, but again, it's the supports. Ghost Scepter up on the Jakiro. Looks like he just wanted to go for raw sort of stats and HP. He's a 1500 HP on him. Pretty damn tanky. The Keep of the Light's a bit squishier, but so far, Xtinct's position has been fantastic. Big smoke. They're going to wrap around into the enemy jungle. Nobody is here unless they cut back towards mid. So it looks like it will be time wasted. MUFC, once again, just, did they really want this Roche?
They didn't smoke in, but Orange,
did they see this?
They're pinging. No, they didn't see it. They're pinging it now. They're now heading there, but They could be a little bit too late here. Ling needs a ward. He does get one in the mid lane as well. He's going to spot them out from this smoke, and oh, this is a bad position for MUFC. They just don't have the damage to take down Roshan, and Ling caught in the worst position of all.
Oh, it's actually Ohaiyo who almost is, but just like a race car, he's gonna scoot away, and they go aggression from Net. Wants to post up, wants to man up. Sharky finds himself right next to iceiceice. Acropire and Ravage just exploding in the middle of this fight. Black hole on 2. Iceiceice strikes back and finally lands a big one, looking like a disaster, looking like basically a team wipe. Gem on the floor as well. Huge gold swing, huge experience swing off of that fight, and it's all up to Ohaiyo. Can this Tinker stop the Roche by himself? I think not, gods. I think not.
Just item difference. There's nothing more to it there. I think the Chaos Knight and Templar Assassin alone with their items just win that fight. Even the supports, Keeper Light with a mech up, has a gem to de-ward, get some map control. I mean, the item difference is just too much for MUFC. Heroes like Lifesteal, even though he's done alright in terms of farm, he doesn't scale well late game. He gets kited around too easily. It's only Tinker who can really have any impact on a team fight. At this point in the game, Tide Ravage is pretty meaningless unless they're using it for some serious backup damage, which they don't have. Venomancer, very little he can do. So, MUFC, I think they're just a bit too far behind.
You know, maybe if the Lifestealer had more items than the Chaos Knight and the Templar Assassin, then he could somewhat go head-to-head with them late game. But when they have a Manta style on the TA, BKBs on both the Chaos Knight and the TA, plus Phantasm, Illusions really ruin Lifestealer because he doesn't know who to focus. They also do tons of damage to him, and you know, he can't bring down all those Phantasms instantly. They hit quite hard. If he ever gets caught with Rage down, he just dies. It's a hero that has great potential in certain sort of pocket strategies. We've seen EG show that to us. But just as played as a very standard late game hero, he definitely has his weaknesses, and Arge exploiting that. It is going to be a bit of a bomb here, but can they actually bring down Xtinct, Illuminate, or rather, Blind to push everyone back? He'll escape.
It pushed Tinker Tinker blinked up, got pushed back down by the Blind, so smart defensive play coming from Orange, and even iceiceice blinking out as Nature's Prophet TP'd in. So now it's Orange who, with this having grouped up now, having reset, they're ready to chase, they're ready to get some kills. And it looks like Ken going to get caught out here. Mushi going to look for 2. The cleave, the spill damage. It found Net a bit here. He's only going to get Ken here with a big crit. But Orange, they're not done. They can just chase for days and days with the survivability on these 2 frontline heroes.
Ken doesn't actually have his Infest up. Could have been in a bit of trouble, but able to escape safely to the high ground. Orange don't have a pipe. I suppose that's the only item they're lacking versus a Tinker at this point in the game. Sharky gets caught top lane. Ice Path to pull him back in with the Chaos Knight. Reality Rift there as well, and he'll drop to that. Or not Ice Path to pull him back in, but you know what I mean. Reality Rift to pull him in. Ice Path there. They get the... they burn him down in the end, so... 2 heroes dead, and...
Well,
oh, is this enough?
It's all about the Tinker, I guess. Tinker can keep on stalling and stalling for days and days, but what is he actually stalling for? Lifesteal has gone in, but he just gets completely mauled to pieces by Templar Assassin. Keeps himself alive with some smart armlet toggling, but it's still just not enough from MUFC.
They have Ravage up. They do have Ravage. Mushi is low. Doesn't want to waste that Aegis. I feel. Maybe you do, just to fight when there's 2 heroes dead. But like you said, the one hero that they really need to kill is the Tinker, and so far, he has been an elusive pain in the ass.
Yeah, Tinker has has been the one little iggling thorn in Orange's side so far, but even with Tinker coming into play, I just don't think it's been enough. He's going to be right in the middle of things. This is not the position he was at. The Mushi's there with no HP whatsoever, but he's got this Aegis. He's quite happy to fight this. Black Hole use on Tide, actually quite smart, because Tide has a Ravage up, so that's the one way they can prevent him from getting it off with the Kraken Shell up, and now MUFC with one last endeavor to try and prevent Orange from pushing.
How is Mushi not dead yet? He's been fighting inside of March the Machines. Finally, the Aegis will be used up. Net is low. Net needs to infest. He doesn't have it. He'll die. Oh, the splash damage from Mushi. Far too much. Now getting caught in the Sprout. Getting kited a bit. But he has backup on the way. Trap is here. Malefice should be coming out soon. He's got the wand. Needs to pop it. Ice. Now, without the wand, actually, he's going to have mana. They get 3. Tidehunter's respawning, though. He's got Ravage. Blink forward by the Enigma. They need to bring down Ohaiyo. He's got Ghost Scepter. Mushi won't be able to focus him down unless this Ice Path catches him. So much damage. Can't focus that Tinker. Turning back to Sharky. Triple for Mushi. Boy, has that been a long triple. Longest triple kill of his life. Can he blink forward here? Cannot. There's a Ravage. Mushi might even die. They really just want to get the damn racks. There you go. Ravage on 3. Not going to be enough, Mushi. You magician. Ultra kill for him. doesn't die, and finally it was all too much mushi for this squad. MUFC forced to tap out. GG. Orange are going to take game number 1.
Well, the Mushi story, it really was. I mean, all around Orange, everyone just executed their role perfectly. Yamateh got just as far, but Mushi with some spectacular plays to end things off. Dodging the Tide Ravage down to the Refraction, just cleaning him up, and he picks up his Ultra kill. 19, 1, and 7 from him. 26 to the 13th, 32 kills. This is what Mushi needs to do. He needs to step up and get more involved. Chaos Knight couldn't really be involved in as many kills, but Mushi made up for it with his roaming around the map.
Yeah, you talked about it in the very early laning stages. You know, the Chaos Knight maybe not the best game for him to be aggressive around the map. Just hard to just running to try and find the Tinker or the Prophet is quite difficult. He doesn't have that map mobility. He doesn't go for a Blink Dagger. He doesn't have the traps to scout everything out easily for himself. So Mushi made it happen this game. Yamateh did farm all game, but in the end, it was what they needed. They needed a big Chaos Knight as well, so that when it came to these big team fights, it wasn't all on Mushi. He couldn't just be focused down. That's generally the weakness of Templar Assassin in late game Dota, is if she's the only fat hero, you just hex her, you bash her, you focus her down. But this game, and you kite her, but this game they couldn't because of the backup. And not just the Chaos Knight, but also, like you said, a smart black hole from iceiceice in that last fight to prevent the Ravage, and the one before it where he caught 2. iceiceice, sure, he had a very bad laning stage, got picked off quite a few times, even wasted that TP scroll at the very beginning, but when it really counted in the late game, he made it happen. So Orange are going to take game number 1.
Yeah, Orange, much to our disbelief as we both betting on MUFC, have taken game number 1. Game number 2. What do MUFC need to do? Like, what was sort of the big problem that game 1? I'm kind of scratching my head a bit here, thinking, well, they went for a slightly different style of play, but overall, I think Orange just outplayed and just figured them out a bit.
Let's ponder that one for a few minutes. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll break down this game number 1, and we'll look forward to game 2, which should be coming up soon. But guys, stay tuned. Game 2 on the way. The all-Malaysian SmackDown continues. Of course, with iceiceice, the lone Singaporean representative here, sort of messing up our hyping. But nonetheless, game 2 is coming up soon. We'll break down this match. We'll talk about what MUFC need to do differently in game number 2 if they want to have a shot. Their backs are up against the wall, but they're not out of this fight just yet. Game 2 coming up soon.